Hey, Takanuva.
I am Takanuva, Toa of Light.
I know that. Why'd you change your name again?
Because I am Takanuva, Toa of Light.
That's it. Get over here.
But I defeated the rock shit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Recap Review. Today I'm going to be looking over all of 2003. The approximate amount of sets in total, not including combination models, is 22. This was a very interesting year for Bionicle, not only in sets, but in story and in sales for LEGO. You see, this year 2003, was the first dual story year for Bionicle. This would be a trend to be carried out throughout a lot of not only just LEGO lines, but very heavily throughout Bionicle as a whole. Because prior to this year, we'd only gotten pretty much just one arc years. Like 2001 was just the quest for the mask and defeating Makuta at the end. 2002 was just the Borak and then the Barag. This is different in the way that we had two different story arcs, one after the other. The first half of the year focused on the Borak Kal, who recently stole the Toanuva's powers. Borak Kal consists of Kurata Kal, Leva Kal, Gala Kal, Tana Kal, Para Kal, and Nuva Kal. Now, that half of the story ended when the Toanuva inevitably beat the Borak Kal and prevented them from awakening the Barag, who were imprisoned the last year. Now, this led to the construction or rebuilding of all of the Matoran, whose sets include Matoro, Maku, Hali, Kopik, Huki, and Hafu. The later half of the year consisted of slightly taller canister sets, and by slightly taller and canister sets, I mean the Rakshi, which consist of Vorak, Panrak, Turak, Gurak, Lirak, and Kurak. Now, the Rakshi were great in a lot of ways. They expanded upon Bionicle's kind of canister tall Toa-ish build by giving them something revolutionary to Bionicle, and that is bending knees. This would be something that would be carried on throughout Bionicle's canister sets until 2010. Now, the Rakshi were great, and the second half of the year consisted of them trying to stop the Herald of the Seventh Toa, of whom Jala and Takua were involved. Now, this all correlates with LEGO's and Bionicle's first movie, The Mask of Light. That gave us such sets as Jala and Gakko, Takua and Puku, the Makuta himself, and the seventh Toa himself, Takanuva. And that was really great. Granted, the sets weren't as large as others from prior years, or even as complex, but they were still good, and shows us a lot of the kind of trends LEGO would move toward in the later years of Bionicle Titans and canister sets. Bionicle in 2003 did two things very well. They expanded upon their designs and kept to some very solid design choices. Granted, the Borak Kal were recycled Borak, and the Rakshi were all one Rakshi with different staffs, spines, and colors. However, they were very solid designs. The other thing Bionicle in 2003 did very well were collectibles. Now, I went ahead and calculated some numbers on a trusty calculator, and have decided to go in depth and look at the collectibles from 2003. So let's go take a look. Alright, so since they started the first half of the year, I figure it's only fitting to start off with the Chronicle Collectibles. Now, these were released, the 8 Chronicle, and there's only 6 here because I couldn't find the other 2. The 8 Chronicle were released in packs, along with Kanohi Nuva masks that were actually released in the prior year, but continued to be released alongside the different Chrono. Now, there are 8 Chrono, and they're new colors. However, back in 2002, and if you want an overview on the Chrono from 02, or at least the original powers and whatnot, go check out the 2002 overview. But the Chronicle were released the 8 variants, but only about 6 colors, which gives us a total of 48 Chrono to collect. And this is not counting the 72 limited edition Chronicle that they released, as well as the 5000 white metal Chronicle that they also released. Correlates the story, but that is not counting to the 48 number. Now, since I don't have all of them with me at the moment, I'm going to show you some illustrations here. This all information comes from the official guide of Bionicle, and it was released approximately in 2002. So, let's start off over here with the Chrono Cal. And its power is X-ray vision. Might have been a Chrono like that before, I'm not entirely sure. Next up is the Chrono Cal, and its power is Mind Link. So you can link up to the minds of the queen's sense of presence. Next up is the Chrono Cal. Its power is Radar Sense. Detect distant objects, magnifies the senses of its Borakal, and particularly the hearing and smell. Borakal can smell? Okay, moving on. Next up is the Chrono Cal. Now, instead of the ability to argue in court, this one's power is strength. It also allows it to endure higher temperatures like heat and cold. Next up is the Chrono Cal. This one's power is Unlock. This one's the most important of the Chronicle because its touch will awaken the Borak Queens. Wait. So why did they need a Nuva Cube? Okay, forget it. Anyway, moving on. Next up is the Chrono Cal. And its power is to sense weakness. Can sense stress points in the earth, allowing its Borakal to tunnel through the ground more easily. Now, the only two that I'm missing here right about now are the Chrono Cal, which, as you can see, its power is telepathy, and the Chrono Cal, which powers speed. That's about it. That's pretty much just the Chronicle. And so they were released with power packs with the Toa-Nuva Kanohi. So let's go ahead and move on to a slightly larger batch of collectibles, the Kurata. Alright, so here we have the Kurata. Now, these guys came with the Rakshin. They're supposed to fit in their bag. And in the story, the Kurata are basically the essence of Makuta. They are solid antidermis. And the Makuta makes them by pretty much just ripping them out of himself. And you have all these different types of Kurata, and each and every one does something a little bit different. Now, in the story, there are 42 types of Kurata powers, and each and every one of those has its own set of colors. Like, for Kurata that go to Turak, Rakshi of Fear, they look like this, a kind of bronze-ish red mix. And for Rakshi of Poison, for Lirak, you have a kind of muddy green and lime mix. So every power has a color mix to it. And there are 42 Kurata. And they were all released as collectibles in Kurata packs. The total amount of Kurata, and let's also keep in mind, there are 6 different types of Kurata. There's stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in total, there are 6 different types of Kurata at 42 different colors, which brings us to a total collectible amount of Kurata, not counting the Shadow Kurata, mind you. The total amount ends up being 252 individual Kurata that you need to collect. And I mentioned the Shadow Kurata. There are the same 6 forms, only in purple. These are called Shadow Kurata. They can do something a little bit different. They can infect people from a distance away, about 100 yards, apparently. So, there you have it. These are the Kurata. That is a huge amount of collectibles. LEGO released a ton of collectibles this year, and these guys, at 252, not counting the extra 6, at 252, that is an astounding amount of collectibles. So keep in mind, each stage of Kurata does something different. Like the first one is pretty much just mindless, all the way up to the last one, which does different things. But my guide really didn't have any information on Kurata. I did look it up, and so I kind of know it, but not. I don't have it written down. I don't have it memorized. So just look it up. It's not game changing or anything. So yeah, those are the Kurata. Let's move on to our final collectible. Not a lot to talk about there, but our final collectibles, the silver Nuva masks. Now, back in 2002, there were mask packs that had silver Kanohi and golden Kanohi similar to this. These were the kind of dormant and then golden Kanohi. The silver ones were dormant Kanohi. Well, in 2003, the Toa had to go on another quest amidst their fight with the Barakal, and then we were given these in mask packs. Silver Kanohi. Just the 6 Kanohi Nuva in silver. Now, I only have this one. Just this one. But this pretty much just represents them all. And the mask packs also did come along with other Kanohi masks, such as this, and this, and this. So, they didn't come in the same, like you'd get silver Kanohi in one box with Chronicle, maybe, and then you'd get these in different boxes. So, to my knowledge, it was the luck of the draw. However, I may be mistaken. I know that they re-released the Chronicle and Nuva packs somewhat frequently, or just a couple of times. So that's pretty much about it. That really wraps up all the collectibles. And in total, 2003. Now, keep in mind, I am aware that there were also the offshoot things like the Infected Hound Nuva, which I do not have at the moment, and the transparent Kurata. Transparent Kurata, Neon Orange Kurata. But I don't have those. I'm not interested in getting those at the moment. You just look them up. They're around. But that is about it for 2003. It has been one heck of a year with numerous collectibles and tons of interesting memorabilia, such as keychains. I will be very interested to know if anyone has one of these. But that has been 2003. I hope you have enjoyed these reviews, and because I sure as heck have. And, well, just leave me a bunch of questions. I'm going to go ahead and take another break just to finish up the 2004 sets, and I will be back better than ever with 2004 reviews. However, this will be just in a little bit after a short break. So, thank you all for watching. Please leave questions for me. I read everything and would love to answer whatever I can in a Q&A in the middle of my break. So, I will see you all the next time I begin reviews again, and thank you all very much for watching.